1962.
1962. And then when did you teach, Sister Stephanie?
I taught in 1969 to 70. No, 68 to 69. And then I came back and I taught from 71 to 73, something like that.
And what did you teach?
I taught religion, art, and biology.
Here's a picture that I was trying to show earlier. Let's see.
There's my senior picture.
Your senior picture.
Yeah.
I tell you, I got to get a lesson on how to do this camera so that people can see these pictures better. So, it says that you were in Solidarity, Yearbook Council, Student Council, and Madrigals? What is that?
Madrigal singers. Oh, yeah.
That.
What I remember really well about our academics, it was so well-rounded. For example, we were not only prepared for college preparatory classes, but also we were prepared for the arts and also the home ec area. All of those, the area that was very dear to my heart was the music department by Gene Smolik. And we had choir, glee choir, we had madrigals, we had a band, we had a combo. We were always being put into competitions in the area, and we even went outside of the city to the madrigal singers were always put into competitions, as well as we were having talent shows a couple times a year. And that was right up my alley because I love to play instruments, and to be able to be a part of that in our high school was just a great experience. We even had opportunities to have talent shows with other high schools in the area.
What did you play? Did you play in the band?
I played xylophone, and I played drums in the combo, and I played clarinet in the band.
And I'm sure everybody watching has already seen Sister Stephanie's incredible xylophone skills on our videos. Pat Sexton said, "Stephanie, you still have that beautiful hair."
It's grand on both sides now.
People pay good money for that.
Yeah, I know.
So you gave me a record the other day. Tell me about this record. It was beautiful music.
Well,
let me go grab it. Here we go. We all listened to it the other night.
Oh yeah, that was our madrigals and our glee choir. That was conducted by Sister Jean Smolik, and that's really was a big factor in creating community in the high school, because we also had not only talent shows, but we always had Christmas programs, and then we had drama. So I always thought that the fine arts at Notre Dame were really raging during the years I was in high school. And I'm very grateful for that particular opportunity. In retrospect, I realized how well prepared we were by the Notre Dame sisters in the areas, if we wanted to go to college, if we were in the home ec area, if we wanted to be in the arts. And we were well prepared in all those areas. And as well as spirituality. One thing that I was very grateful for was fidelity. And
yeah,
that was really a big deal, not only for Notre Dame, but fidelity was a part of all the high schools in the city, the Catholic high schools. You had to be very disciplined, have a devotion to Our Lady, good character, and we did a lot of extra praying. We took field trips with other high schools, and we also had retreats with other high schools, as well as our own retreat at Notre Dame for the girls. And that was very deepening. not only in developing a devotion to Our Lady, but it really did deepen our spirituality. Anybody who was a part of that, the fidelity of Our Lady.
And where were the retreats held?
Oh, we had retreats all over. The O'Donnell Center. We had retreats at Notre Dame, and sometimes we'd go to prep. It depended on who was sponsoring it that particular year, but it was always a great experience.
So tell me what it was like to go from being a student to only a few years later being a teacher. That's so unique.
That is unique. It was probably about four. I didn't. I didn't feel any different. I always loved the students. I loved teaching. The first year I taught biology. Then when I was sent to Newman High School to teach art and religion, and then I came back to Notre Dame to teach art and religion. I forget who was teaching biology at that time, but
what year was that?
That was around 71, 72 when I came back, and I stayed for a few years, and then the high school closed right after I came back.
I was just looking through I was going to see if I could find any pictures of you. This is the yearbook from 1971. So we've got some sisters, but I'm not sure if we see you.
Yeah, I heard Rita talking about some of the things that were really unique to Notre Dame. We had the 4 years of Latin, and we had a Latin club, and that was very unique because that really prepared us in the whole area of life. When you have Latin, it really develops your ability to understand English and to continue to grow in that area in a language.
Well, Mary Agnes says that she had you for biology.
Who did?
Mary Agnes.
She was the class of 71. Yeah, that would be right. I'm Mary Agnes.
Mary, you have to tell us any story you remember having Sister Stephanie as a biology teacher. What was it like teaching religion back in 71, 72?
Well, at that time it was a lot easier than actually when I went to Newman. Because I did teach religion that first year too, as well, 68 to 69. And the kids were very open to religion. When I went to Newman, it became a whole different dynamic because we then became a part of that whole social justice rage. And that's what I remember in high school as well. In 62, Father Stewart was really big on all the encyclicals. So we were well prepared to understand the encyclicals of the church, and one was Humanae Vitae at that time. But being a senior, I remember it very difficult to comprehend, and yet it really was a basis for instilling in me the meaning of social justice. And that was as a high school senior.
I was with Sister Rita, who said that they went down to protest George Wallace in 1965. Did you have any moments where you took part in anything like that?
Yes, I did that with the Newman seniors. The Newman students. That was in the days of Cesar Chavez, and we were protesting the whole the immigrants not being paid for the amount of time that they were putting into the grapes and the lettuce. So we were doing those kinds of protests. Okay. That was at Newman.
Mary Angus just said something so funny, just because you and I know each other, that you have to answer this question before I start laughing out loud. Mary Angus said, well, it wasn't about biology, but we all thought that Sister Stephanie was so pretty. She probably had a boyfriend before she came to the convent.
Did we tell her? Should we tell her?
You've got to tell her. It is so funny.
Tell you. When I met Molly, and her name is Mullen, I said, oh, do you know Pat? And she said, he's my dad. I said, oh, I dated him in high school.
So Mary Angus, you're correct. She did have a boyfriend for a minute, and it was my dad. I never met him.
It was your
I
dad.
came to work for the sisters. But we have been laughing about that for the past 6 months.
Yeah, we laughed about it. I says, "Oh, I know another Mullen." So we always thought that was kind of fun.
I remember when I applied for the job, and my dad said, "I think I went on a date or two with a Notre Dame sister," and I didn't really think about it again. And then when I met you, oh my gosh, that was just so fun.
Yeah, it was a great connection.
Kindred spirits in so many ways.
He was a great dancer. That's
He
what I
still
remember.
is.
Yeah,
He showed me up at my own wedding, dancing me off.
dancer.
So there you go. There's another Notre Dame / Creighton Prep connection of 1962. Sister Stephanie, please tell me, what was Omaha like the year that you graduated? What made it different?
I don't have any recall of that. 62, I know 60, well, we got into 63 when I was a novice. That was more of the days of, I don't recall the racism days. I know Rita talked about that, but I don't really have any recall of what was going on in the city. I mean, as a high school student, though, we were always involved in social justice kinds of things, collecting clothes for the missions and cans for the cans of food or whatever for the missions. And Notre Dame's were always very, as a grade school student and being taught by the Notre Dame sisters as well, they were always collecting items for the poor. And so that was a part of how I grew up, and it went into high school as well. But the Notre Dame sisters were very influential in my spirituality, my commitment to service. They were so inspiring, both in grade school and high school. And like I said, they were so inspiring that I decided to become one.
You knew pretty early on in high school that you were going to become a sister, no?
When I was 5.
Oh, okay. Wow. Never mind.
Yeah, I was 5. Then I watched the sisters, and that was a big inspiration to continue to follow what I thought was going to be my call.
And your call, I mean, the things that you've done since you were 5 haven't actually changed that much. You've been playing music, you've been going to homeless shelters all your life.
Right.
And you've continued to do so, isn't that correct?
Yeah. And that's actually instilled by family, by being taught in a community at Assumption by the sisters and that particular community, as well as the Notre Dame sisters in high school. So all of that does create one's personality and character and drive and commitment to service.
And since the last reunion, for those watching, maybe you know, maybe you don't, that Sister Stephanie just recently retired this past year. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. It's, I left the homeless shelter, and yet what I did there continues to be a part of what I am doing now. I was doing monthly meetings for the homeless veterans, and now I find myself continuing to work with as a caregiver to many of the disabled veterans who are suffering from PTSD. For one of them, I got a dog, a comfort dog. I was instrumental in helping him with that. Another guy got him guitars for vets. So I made a lot of contacts, and I continue to reach out to veterans. They're no longer homeless, and yet they still continue to struggle with the wars of Iraq and the Persian Gulf. And so it's been a real honor to be able to continue to walk with them. I continue to reach out to the mentally ill, who were also a big part of my heart when I was at the homeless shelter. Mentally ill is a very serious disease, and I continue to frequent the Princess Anne's Home for the Mentally Ill 2-3 times a month, and kind of reach out to them and visit with them.
So it sounds like you're one of those retired people that's
Yeah.
not really retired. Is that right?
Yes, I love it. I continue. I'm in the AA program, so I now am more able, with more time, to sponsor newcomers, to hear fifth steps, and that's all a part of my spirituality as well. So that's been a real gift as well to do that.
So everybody wants to know, especially when they went to Notre Dame Academy, what does it feel like to go to Notre Dame Academy and now to live there currently all these years later at the same school that you went to?
I love it. Well,
What do you love
I'm
about
living
it?
on the property, but I think that will always be home for us. That will always be the roots of the Notre Dame sisters and the Notre Dame Academy students. When you walk into that building, you just have myriads of memories. Celeste did a good job by saying she's living in the place where she taught math.
Yes. Yeah, that was so funny. She said,
Yes.
yeah, I'm living in the geometry room. What?
Yes, it's really neat. I can go into an area and say, "Oh, this is where Sister Annunziata taught biology." But those memories are still there. But I think the whole spirituality of the Notre Dame sisters continues to pervade the spirit of Notre Dame housing and our property up here. Be nice if the girls could come and have a tour and see all the wonderful renovations that have happened here. And Notre Dame housing now being something that the Notre Dame sisters continue to have as their ministry in terms of supporting it. And low-income seniors, if you would come here, you would see how wonderful it is that we can help those who have not been given in life what a lot of people are given. Because you really have to be a low income to be a part of the Notre Dame housing.
And I'm
But
so
when I
was
was at the shelter, I was able to even get some of my clients into Notre Dame housing, and that was a wonderful experience to have my own clients being housed by the sisters.
Absolutely.
And housing.
Oh, that's so neat.
Yeah.
Does anybody out there have any more questions for Sister Stephanie? I was just gonna.
Hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Happy reunion.
Happy reunion, especially class of 1970. And of course, all of the graduates. We're glad that you're here with us today. We cannot wait till we can get together in person. I was so looking forward to this being my first reunion with the sisters and all of our events. I was looking forward to our pork dinner for the first time. I was looking forward to the reunion for the first time. So I'm definitely looking forward to the time when I can actually meet all these wonderful people that you talk about in person.
Oh, you're doing a great job, Molly. We appreciate what you're bringing to our sisters, and for us to be able to do this is just a great gift. Without your talents, this would not happen. You and Sandra.
Well, we just love.
I call the two of you our rock stars.
Sandra calls me a QVC spokesperson.
Yeah.
She says that I'm a home shopping network person because I'm always excited about everything.
Yeah, you are.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Sister Stephanie. I'm going to let everybody go migrate over to Zoom now. I'm going to log into Zoom. And people can call in. They can get on their computers. I know the sisters are going to be watching and participating together. So thank you very much. Happy reunion, and we will see you all soon.
We'll see you at the next step, at the Zoom.
Oop, where we go.
Bye.
Bye.